Life Over Coffee. Conversations for transformation.
Hello everyone, this is Rick Thomas with Life Over Coffee. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very glad. This is the last devotion in my book, Living Boldly, a 31-day devotional for young adults. And I trust that it has been beneficial for you. If you've just stepped into the devotion at day 31, that is fantastic. I want you to know that there are 30 other devotions. You can listen to the podcast, you can watch the videos on our website, you can also read each devotion on our website. If you prefer, you can get the book, and I do recommend that. As I go through these devotions in video and on podcast, I do not share the reflection time. Every devotion has a reflection time. I'm just giving you the meat of the devotion in the video and the podcast, and trust that you will get the book, or you can go to our website and read each devotion. It's written out like an article. We produce all of our content in a read, watch, listen format. Some people like to read, others prefer to listen to a podcast, and then still others, they want to watch a video. And so we put it in all three formats to bless everybody. But again, I would encourage you to get the book. There's nothing like a paperback book that you can get, mark up, get a few for your friends. Do this as a Bible study as you spur one another on, and that would be fantastic. Day number 31, this is the last one. As I was thinking about it, so, what would I want to share in this final devotion? So I titled it, Whatever You Do, Do This. And so as we conclude this series, I want to focus on the most crucial aspect of your life. I've saved the best for last. The one thing that should shape every decision, every action, every relationship. I mean, this is it. Whatever you do, do this. And so the question is simple and yet it is profound. Here it is. What is your ultimate motive for all that you do in your life? And maybe I don't want to prioritize these devotionals because different ones will mean different things to different people. But you have absolutely got to land the plane on this one. You've got to get this one right. Our motivation, how we think, how we are in our hearts, it's going to determine the words that we use, the actions that we exhibit. And so we want to make sure that our motives are absolutely right. And so I'm asking the question, what is your ultimate motive for all that you say, all that you do in life? Your motive for relationships, your motive to serve God, your motive to be who you are. Perhaps you can think of the answer like a mission statement. And so I want to give you Paul's answer to this question. In 1 Corinthians 10:31, he says, so whether you eat, whether you drink, whatever you do all to the glory of God. You can see the title of the devotion in this sentence that Paul gives us. Whatever you do, do this. Paul says, whatever you do all to the glory of God. And so think about how you would like to be remembered after you die. This would be a good way to frame this idea for this devotion. What would you want others to say about you, about your life? Now, my question here isn't meant to make you morbid about your final day on earth, but to help you to identify your highest priority. Whatever your answer is to that question, what others will think about you, say about you after you die, it will serve as the lens through which you view life and make all your decisions. Now, the good news is that God has already revealed what your ultimate aim should be. We should live for His glory. God's glory has to be our chief aim. I mean, think about it. If God's glory is your chief aim, that is your motivation, it is your animating center, that's your starting point, then everything that flows from there is going to be very good. For Paul, glorifying God was the transcendent goal that shaped everything that he did. No pursuit was more important to him than making God's name great and spreading His fame. And so what I want to do is just to walk through very briefly, what does the glory of God mean? I mean, whatever you do, do all for the glory of God. What does it actually mean? So I trust this devotional will break it down for you. just a little bit. To glorify God means, and because it's such a big idea, I want to give you several ways of thinking about it. One, to glorify God means to honor Him as the center of your life. That I want you to be the center of my life. That is the way that I can honor you, by making you the center of my life. Another way is spreading His fame in all that you do. I think about it like a broadcaster. I don't know if you know what a broadcaster is. It's different kinds of contraptions that does one thing. You put grass seed in it. You walk along your lawn and it broadcasts the seed to sow grass, to plant grass. You think about broadcaster like in the newsroom. Another way of saying it, you're broadcast. So you're spreading His fame in all that you do. So to glorify God means to honor Him in the center of your life, spreading His fame in all that you do. Another way is living in holy awe, A-W-E, of who He is, and letting that holy awe, that reverential fear that you have, let it guide your decisions, whether in small tasks, eating or drinking, Paul said, or in the more significant things that you do in life goals like marriage and children, career. God's glory should be your driving purpose. One day, everybody, both in heaven and hell, will glorify God for eternity. We read this in Philippians chapter 2, 9, 10, and 11. But glorifying Him now in your daily life is your opportunity to live with purpose, to live with focus, to live with joy. The weight of God's worth, His glory, it gives your life the ultimate meaning. So this is day number 31. I've titled it, Whatever You Do, Do This. I want you to focus on this devotion. I would love for you to talk to somebody about it. Do Life Over Coffee. In fact, you can go to our store. I think I have a mug here. To do Life Over Coffee well, you want to get a Life Over Coffee mug to do it well. And sit down with a friend and talk about what it means to do God's glory, to live for God's fame, to live for His glory. I also want you to check out our resources. We have more resources that will help you, that will spur you on to loving good deeds. We also have courses that you might be interested in. I would recommend, if this is a good season for you, to do our mastermind program. This is where we teach people to do the work of discipleship. We teach them, maybe you think of discipleship as biblical counseling. That's fine. Those words are somewhat synonymous, but we teach people how to do biblical counseling or discipleship. And so what I'm saying is that we have a ton of resources at lifeovercoffee.com. Almost all of our resources are free. We are underwritten by supporters, donors. They are the ones, the people that you do not know. It's a small army of people that underwrite this ministry, that make it go. This is a partnership in the gospel. Perhaps you would like to be one of those partners to help us to reach more people with the practical message of Christ. And so consider what we have here at Life Over Coffee. Let us serve you. If you want to come alongside and help us do what we do, please, we would welcome you in a partnership as a donor to our ministry. Consider our courses, our mastermind program, for example. If you want to do the deepest of dives in all things discipleship, we would love to serve you. Minimally, get the book, Living Boldly, a 31-day devotional for young adults. This is day 31. Whatever you do, do this.
Thanks for joining us. Learn more and get access to other resources at lifeovercoffee.com.